Bruce's family is Hispanic, and they tend to have different behaviors, especially amongst the men. And this is just from long generational lines of cultural behaviors and things. And there are things that he had to change and I had to change. I mean, he even told me, he was like, I wish, he sees the relationship his mother has with his father, and he wishes things were different for her. He wishes that she was treated better. He wishes, many things for her. And he said himself that he saw how he was behaving, and he didn't want to become like his father.
Mm.
And I had to change things about myself as well. There's certain things you do and don't do, and things that your partner is going to like and not like. And culturally speaking, I'm American, he's Mexican American, and so it's very different when you want to make a relationship work and you both have preconceived notions about, well, this is how it was in my family, or this is
Mhm.
how I've seen relationships go
Yeah.
in my family. And so you base your expectations off some of those things. And
Yeah.
realistically, you can't expect the other person to really know that or communicate that, or if you don't do a good job of saying, hey, this is what I like and don't like, or listening to your partner say that, and they have to repeat themselves, or they feel like you're not listening to them, or you're not making the changes, you're not meeting their needs, it's going to show in a lot of
Yeah.
areas. And so you just have to come to that realization. Yes, we can manifest our specific person back. Yes, we can do all those wonderful things and manifest all the wonderful things about our life that we'd like to imagine. But if you don't have stability, if you don't have knowledge about how to keep things going positively and make each other happy, then it's really not going to last. You do have to
Mm.
work at all things,
Yeah.
including listening to your person. But that was the biggest change for me, listening to him and changing what I did and behaviorally, and him listening to me as well.
Yep.
I don't really like it when you do this. Oh, okay, I won't do that anymore. Or I don't really like it when you say this or that,
Mm.
or maybe I don't like when you wear that, and it's not to be rude or not to be, you just have to listen to each other, like, okay, I see where you're coming from. Now I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of arguing and attacking each other, like, what do you mean you don't like
Yep.
what I'm wearing? Oh, you think that's ugly? What? Like,
Yes, the defense attack. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and it's not always about you, and yeah, it's not about you. So it's about really loving the other person and being like, okay, well, he doesn't like that, so I'm gonna change that, because what
Yeah.
is the point of being together if you expect that person to do everything that you want them to do without you making necessary changes as well?
Mm. Yeah.
So
It's
yeah.
so much about understanding. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it
Yeah.
is.
That's so wonderful. I just think it's a real credit to the two of you that
Oh yeah.
your kids are going to grow up with parents that are together because of the work
Mhm.
you've done within your family. You've done the work and it's benefiting other people very directly. They're going to feel more secure, more loved. Yeah, they might remember the time where mummy and dad split up, but they're also going to remember the time mum and dad got back together.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
honestly, we came back for a better second round. It is way, way amazing. I mean, I am really thankful for the journey, really. I mean,
Yeah.
the breakup and everything, and all the
Yep.
hardships along the way, because we needed to go through that to realize, oh my God, like we're both,
Mm.
out here trying to do our thing, and we're both hitting up against walls and not getting anywhere. And, why don't we make a change and try to come together, and slowly but surely, thanks to a lot of self-work, a lot of self-love, a lot of Neville, and a lot of coaching from you, and from just the free content, and just listening to Neville has really transformed my way of thinking. And again, it has shown on the outside world. It was something very hard for me to understand. Like, you change your inner world, your outer world will change too. And it's like, okay, I'm working at it. I'm working at it. I'm working at it. Like, what's going on? Why isn't this working? Like, and
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
it's a challenge to
Yeah.
be patient.
How do you go now with 2 kids and 1 on the way, and are you working as well?
Well, we do a lot of work from home, which, COVID may have affected some people negatively, but for us, it was really wow. It was so good. I mean, we had a lot of things happen, where I'm doing stay-at-home work, where I don't really need to go out and about unless it's necessary
Yeah,
for things like housing inspections and damages. But you know, now, my husband, he goes out and he does a lot of work for me, which is something I intended to. I wanted him to be that for us, to be, because
yeah,
we both take care of the same business. We both, inspect housing damages and make insurance claims. We both do that. So, we've always worked together very nicely, because we've always had that good business mindset, and we wanted to make good money for our kids. And so he does a lot of the dropping off of checks for me, and
yeah.
really we don't have to spend a lot of time with our clients, and it's very easy work. It's very intentional because I wanted
Lovely.
easy work for both of us. I wanted something that wasn't so time consuming for both of us, and
Yeah,
yet, we could both play the roles of what we want in our lives. I can be a stay-at-home mom practically full time while he's, the breadwinner. And also he, like I said, we work together,
mm,
and it's just nice. It's nice how that works out. And like
beautiful.
yesterday, I did the invoices for some of our clients, and then he's going to be dropping off those checks later to them. So it's
Yeah,
a nice flow, and we just are very in good harmony with one another all the time. And so yeah, that's
beautiful.
that's been good, especially. And what was funny was when they did some shutdowns, we just made the best of it. This was before I got pregnant. We got some White Claws, and we got some Corona Lights, and we played video games, and we watched movies. We watched the Star Wars because he never had seen any of the Star Wars series. I was like, you gotta
Yeah,
watch it. We're never gonna get another chance. This is like perfect timing.
yeah,
Let's watch it all. And we just got into so many things, and I really feel like our relationship strengthened, whereas I
yeah,
know I heard a lot of things about other people's relationships straining from
yeah.
spending so much time together. I felt so bad hearing that, but I was so grateful also for knowing that ours got stronger and more fun. So
Yeah, and I
yeah.
think it's like all the work you did. It's not COVID that destroys the relationship; it's the people within it. So it's like if you have done work on yourself and you've got really good ways of relating and giving
Hmm.
to each other and listening and cooking and eating and sleeping and doing all that stuff together, you can be in harmony and be together a lot because
Right.
it's it's a projection of your insides. So yeah,
Hmm.
I know a lot of people have struggled and I've been working with some of them, but it's like the
Hmm.
more you do the internal work, the relationship takes care of itself. It just does.
It really does. And when it's like you kind of win the prize, and you cut back a little bit on self-love or meditations because just don't have time for that nearly as much when you
Yeah,
actually are with the person again.
that's true.
So you
Yeah,
don't have a lot of time for that, especially with me. It's like, we have our two small children, and then
yeah,
he has his other child from a previous relationship, and years ago. And so sometimes I'm a step parent to her, and
yeah,
then I've got my two little ones running around. And and you just got to make it work, but you always have to wake up and just do something quick, like, thank you, God, thank you for another day, thank you.
yeah,
And trying not to focus on things that they didn't do is so much healthier, to
yeah.
focus on what they did do. Like, yeah, he may not have taken out the trash last night,
Mm.
but he did, help me with the laundry today, or
Yeah,
and so I think we as women especially are so guilty of putting all this work on a man and being like,
yeah.
you're supposed to do all this. And we just have a great like harmony together. Like last night, he did the dishes while I was mopping, and we are sharing nice conversation, and and it's great.
Nice.
It's great.
I know those moments of I do that too. My partner cooks sometimes. I cook
Mhm.
most of the time because I'm home a lot, but on a day off he'll say, "Right, I'm going to cook." And he said, "You're going to be my sous chef." And he says, "Can you chop all that for me?" And we've got this system where I do all the chopping and then he prepares and we laugh because It's just, you have those
Mhm.
moments where you just enjoy the ordinary things. Ordinary.
Yeah, we really do. We really do. I love
Yeah.
how we are together now. I love it. It's
Yeah.
very light, it's fun, and yeah,
Yeah.
we have our moments of, tension, and we have our moments where the kids are driving both of us crazy, and
Yeah.
he's tense and I'm tense and everybody's tense. Somebody's crying,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
so it does, it's still, you still have to deal with reality no matter how much you want to focus on, your imaginal acts or living in the end or
Mm.
whatever gets you to, manifest in the best way possible. Is you still have to deal with reality, and you have to do it with a good attitude.
You do, you do. And, I do think when you've got like kids and you're pregnant and you're still doing, I mean, you've minimized how much you have to go out and work. You've worked it out that you can stay home and do that stuff, but that still needs attending to. And then you
Mhm.
got to go to bed and sleep for, 6 to 8 hours. So you go, okay, I've only got X amount of time, and it might be just the Ho'oponopono prayer for 15 minutes while I'm laying in bed waking up. It might just
Mhm.
but yes, I agree. When you're in relationship, you do less, but you still do some stuff when you possibly can. And but the thing is,
Mhm.
you haven't got the huge need to do that high level of work that you did when you were on your own. You don't.
Right.
You just don't. I mean, I
Mhm.
find you can get away with doing, say 30 to 50% of what you were doing before because you're in the state of having it and you are having it. It's there. So
Yeah, it's there.
you don't need to
Mhm.
keep affirming, keep meditating on that subject because you are in it. So you go,
Yes.
okay, let me enjoy the being in it. Let me fertilize
Yeah.
it.
Let me be present,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm reading a book by Wayne Dyer that talks about, being fully present and how it's
Mm,
one of the best times when he was with his children and still alive and being
yeah.
present with them and how important that was to him,
And
and
he
I
had
thought that was
eight.
very good. I know, it's amazing. We want a bunch too.
Good. Why not? If it's your thing, it's why not? Why not? And wow,
Mhm.
to be second generation of people that are learning about this as they're growing up, I am really so interested to see what that generation,
Oh, yeah,
all of
me
you that have had
too.
babies or are pregnant at the moment, what their kids are going to be like at 8, 10, 12,
Uh-huh.
15.
Mhm.
I can't wait to see how that generation is. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
massively exciting to grow up with love, learning how to
Mhm.
reassure yourself, all this stuff. They're going to be growing up in this fertilized ground. It's going to be
Oh,
amazing.
yeah. It's so good, and Phoebe, she just turned 7, and we went to Universal for a week so we could take her to see Harry Potter, and we just had a blast. Like, I'm such a Harry Potter nerd. I read all the books, I saw the movies, I just loved it. So she loved them too, and she's only 7, so she only saw up to the third one because the Dementors scare her, so she didn't want to watch the fourth one, which I understand. I'm like, you're not ready for that yet. I get it.
Oh,
So
wow. I
so it's
remember
funny.
when we weren't in lockdown, I
Mhm.
remember going into the West End in Soho in London, and they had the
Mhm.
massive, the big shows are down in the West End, and they had the huge. You should have seen the front of the Harry Potter where Harry Potter was. It was just mind blowing in this
Yeah.
old, amazing building that really suited, obviously, the whole Harry Potter series. But
Right,
uh,
right. It's,
you
it's so great.
yeah, if you're into it,
Yeah.
it's fabulous. So, Amber, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing all that. I think it is truly wonderful to hear your story, and that it's, you know what, you can have a happy ending. You can.
You really can. And so we're teaching our kids, we're teaching them every day. I do affirmations with Phoebe. I'm like, we're going to do our affirmations, and I'll be like, okay, and I'll just make some up on our way to school. Like, I love myself deeply. Today's going to be a great day. I learn quickly and easily, and just, we do that, and I play things for them at night, and my person, he totally loves it. He loves it. He knows words and affirmations are powerful, and And
Mm.
we're growing in the spirit, we're growing every day, and we pray, and
Yeah.
we just think that, it's been an amazing blessing, especially with, combined with God. I mean, God favors those who do the work, and who seek Him and want the answers, and it's out there. The universe will hand it to you, but you also
Yeah.
have to do the work. That was something I really,
Mm.
really, really tried to do, and I'm just so thrilled about where we are today and how different it really truly is, and anything is possible. You can go from blocking each other on Facebook to just an incredible journey of, wow, now we're married, we've got, a new baby coming, we've got all this. It all seems so far away. All the negative stuff seems so far away, and all
Yeah.
this beautiful stuff is just exciting. It's so
Yeah.
nice, it's so easy.
It is. It honestly, it really is. Once you get on you've climbed the mountain and you're at the top, you just look back and
Yes,
go, "My God, I made this so hard for myself. Because I just didn't get it."
I didn't get it, but eventually,
Yeah,
something
you get it.
clicks.
Something clicks,
Mhm.
and then it's like whoosh, you ride the slide down the other side of the mountain, and your arms are up, and you're going, "Wow, woo!" And the wind's in your hair, and you're enjoying
Yay!
the fruits of your labor. You enjoy the
Yes,
fruits of your labor. It is so, so wonderful.
it really is. I'm so
Fabulous.
happy.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Agnes.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for being such a fabulous example of someone that just kept at it. Boy, oh boy,
Yeah.
you and I had a lot of exchanges, but you honestly, your determination and persistence was like no other. I think that is one of your greatest qualities of all
Yeah.
time, Amber,
Thank
because
you.
you just went, what the heck am I missing? Tell me,
Yeah.
watch YouTube's on it, learn it, repeat it, whatever. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll
Yeah, I'll
do it.
do
Yeah.
anything, because when you really want something,
Yeah.
have the tenacity of a weed.
Yeah.
Have that tenacity.
Yeah.
Just keep coming back for more. Come on now.
Yeah,
Don't
and
quit.
you had 2 small kids in your care while you were doing all this, so when people say, "I don't have enough
Yeah.
time," it's like, "Well, hang on a minute."
Yeah.
Amber was raising 2 children on her own because they were
Yep.
sharing the parenting. You were in the firing line every day with those kids. "I have to be there for them. I gotta help them. I gotta do this. I gotta make lunches. I gotta take them to school. I gotta." And
Mhm.
you were on top of all that, and then, you were doing all this, so you made the
Yes.
time. You made the time.
It was worth it. It was
It
worth
was
it.
worth it.
Yes. Little tired in the morning. Yes. You don't feel like doing it
Yeah.
sometimes. No, you really don't feel like listening to Neville again for the fourth
No,
time.
no,
But
that's
it is
true.
so worth it when you do, and you're like, and that's the thing, you got to want it bad enough in life. I really think you just got to want it bad enough. Anything I've ever accomplished, I had to want it bad enough. If I wanted first place in a race, I had to train really hard for it, and
Yeah.
it's the same thing in life with anything, really. I mean, no, you can't force your way into somebody's heart, and
No.
I know from experience that you can't, and you can be determined, but you still can't. That
Yeah.
was the thing that was like, wow, that's where the magic clicked. It's like, I do have the determination, but you
Yeah.
still at the end of the day have to
Yeah.
realize the changes you must make to have that happen and make your person.
Mm.
Not really make them, you can't make them, that's the
No.
thing, you can't make them.
You have
Oh,
to you have to allow them to choose you, and that's why, I mean, I don't believe people have no free will. I believe people still choose to accept or
mm-hmm.
reject what you send, which Neville talks about in Prayer, the Art of Believing.
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah.
people don't like hearing that bit. They like to hear people have no free will, and they want to try and force and control, and that's fine. People can argue amongst themselves, because I don't argue about that anymore. But I
Right.
know my person lays in bed next to me because he wants to be. And
Exactly.
your husband,
Mm-hmm.
you allowed him to make the choice to be with you. You
That's
didn't
right.
force him. He was there because he wants to be.
And
And that
somehow I think,
beautiful.
yeah, you have to find out along the way, and you have to realize, like, well, if this person that I want so badly and love so much doesn't want me back, then you know what? That's okay. You also have to have that detachment and let go. Let
Yeah,
go of this person. Yeah, you get your person back and you think they're gonna fill all this like void inside of you, like, oh, as long as I have them, everything will be better. Life's gonna
yeah,
be better. You get your Prince Charming and the sun sets and it's a happy ending. And it's like, no, now comes the real work. Now you're actually involved with the person again. You have to
yeah,
relearn each other. You have to change things about yourself.
yeah.
You have to work harder when you're with the person. Yes, you can be happy for the moments that you are together again,
Mm,
reunited. Yes, it sounds so romantic. It does.
yeah.
But when you're together with that person, you realize, oh my God, it's a real relationship. This is an actual person.
Yeah, and they are gonna like you on some days, they're not gonna like you, they're gonna be tired, they're
Mhm.
gonna have other things bothering them that they bring back to the relationship, so, yeah,
Mhm.
it's accepting, with humility that you cannot force or make someone, unless they really want to accept being there with you. And the thing is, that's actually quite comforting to know someone's chosen to be with you. It is not,
Yeah.
it wasn't manipulated, it wasn't pushed into shape. It was, you know what, I'm going to detach and say, if you'd like to be here, I'd really love to be with you, but
Mhm.
but I'm going to accept whatever you choose. And you do
Yes.
that with a soft open hand, and then that's where, the real magic happens, because when they have chosen you, it was their choice and they made it and they picked you. I am
Right.
first best. I am first best. Ah,
Right.
yeah,
Right. Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. And that's the great part,
it
when
is.
they do that. And that's the part I had to learn. I had to push myself up against the wall and be like, you can't make it
Yeah,
happen,
yeah.
and it's hard when you do love somebody
It is
and you love
hard.
them
It
so
is.
much. You want them so much. You miss them so much. You think about
Yeah.
them so much and you try
Mm.
not to. And the more you try not to, the more it ends up happening.
Yes. Yeah. And I think when you've had children with someone, the pull would be even stronger because that's the father of your kids.
Yes, and you can't escape the
Y-
communication level or the drop off or the meeting up of,
Yeah.
and so you can't really escape that as much as,
Mm.
we may want to dismiss it in our minds. To
Yeah.
be good parents, you have to have that good, at least a decent co parenting relationship with, the father or the mother of your children. And so it is a challenge when you want to be with them and they don't want to be with you, or the
Yeah.
feelings off or the mutual
Yeah.
everything is just it's a lot harder for you emotionally. I mean, I know it was for me, but the best
Yeah.
thing is that when you don't react to the reality of now, you can do so much better to, okay, I didn't like how that exchange went. I'm going to go home. I'm going to do
Yes.
some hoponopono. I'm going to, pray. I'm going to fast. I'm going to, see what the Bible says about this, or see what, Agnes has to say. I'm going to write her an email. I'm going to reach out to all my resources and hopefully
Yeah.
grab something. I
Well,
see
Amber, I'm
Queen.
going to let you go because he's been very good sitting for an hour. He's done very
I
well.
know. Well, he's playing with his toys and coming back to me, and
Yeah.
he's so fun. He loves to play, and
Yeah,
he's a good boy.
he's done well to not, try and, yeah, get his needs met. I mean, he's little, he's got every right to, so he's done very well.
He's a little man. It's very funny for us,
Yeah.
It's very fun, and we
Lovely.
really love it. So we're enjoying the
Thank you.
stage. And that's another thing too I wanted to mention about parenting is sometimes we could be very ungrateful while we parent our children, and we're not grateful for the time being. And I was just holding them last night and being like, oh, I'm gonna miss this so much when I'm an old lady. And you
Yeah.
know
Yeah, for sure. Really capture it while it's happening.
yes.
Well, because you're so busy, I know people are going to want to ask you questions. Would you prefer to just answer comments in the thread for this one because you're 7 months pregnant when you have time? Is that easier for you?
Yeah, what I
Yeah.
can answer in the thread, and any other questions that go deeper, I know I just encourage the coaching a lot. You may think you don't have the money and therefore you don't. But if you just encourage yourself to save 10 or $20 here and there instead of buying your Starbucks bagels and lattes and stuff, and invest in yourself, invest in the coaching. It's so worth it, and I know I can only reach out so much to
Yeah.
ask and answer simple questions, but Agnes, you've done a tremendous job of coaching me through the abilities that I have and to utilize what I know and to stay positive. So the coaching is a huge thing for me. It is so highly encouraged. I personally love coaching and mentorship. I can never get enough of it. So it's a great
Mm,
base to start for anybody who's super lost or super down and doesn't know where to go from here. Coaching has really helped me keep going.
keep going. Yeah, for sure. And I
Mhm.
think too, there is, for some people that really can't afford it because the exchange rate's not good, depending on what country they live in. That's
Mhm.
what the
Mhm.
free Q&As are for, is just come and ask a couple of questions. You can get them answered there for free, because
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, sometimes one email coaching is one person's month's salary. So I get it.
Mhm.
I get it. And that's
Mhm.
why the Q&As were created. So thank you,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you, Amber.
Thank you so much, Agnes. I appreciate
Uh,
everything you've done.
I'm so proud of you. Like,
Ah,
I am so proud of you, because I know how hard you worked and you fell over and it was devastating,
it
like
was.
twice. And people will hear your story when we put the links down below. They can go back and hear it. Some of us are
Yeah.
slower. Some of us do not get instant results. Some of us have to dig deep more than once. We get what we want, and then we lose it again. We get what we want, we lose it again, because
Mhm.
we haven't got that solid footing yet. But that's
Mhm.
why I'm so proud of you, is because you really came up and down and up and down and up and down, and the third time you got it.
Yeah, really, and really this time we nailed it. I mean, we're so happy. It's so great. It's such a wonderful relationship. I feel like, oh, I just feel so spoiled. Really, really, I do.
Oh, I think that's a really good affirmation. You know what? I nailed it. Yeah,
I
that's
nailed it.
that'd make a good t-shirt, Amber. I nailed it.
2021. I nailed it.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, do you want to say
Ah,
goodbye, and then I'll say goodbye and we'll say bye in private?
yes, yes. Goodbye. Thank you so much, everyone, and keep the faith.
Mm. Thanks, everybody. I will put all the links down below, and I will see you as always in the next YouTube.
Bye bye.